1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
Good morning, guys.
Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
Hey, today is the 8th of August, which means that it is the Men's History Month Free Speech Forum here at Bond in Los Angeles, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Well, if you're in Los Angeles, it is Pacific time. So come out and it'll be cool. JesseLeePeterson.com. RebuildingTheMan.com/events is another way to find it. That's the nonprofit site. And that's where you can also find the church page, Jesse Lee Peterson's Church, which I've been going to for 12 years, believe it or not. And so it's going to be fun. It's going to be packed. It's going to be cool. But I wanted to talk about the fact, and you guys can call in, 888-775-3773. It is Thursday, August 8th, 2019, 9 a.m. Pacific time. 4th hour of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show stream. Thank you, Jesse. I appreciate it. I'm live on my channels Sundays, 9 a.m. Isn't that nice? Giving you guys time to call in. Some of you guys work or don't have time to call in during the week, so you can call in on Sundays. But I wanted to talk about these, the way that people don't think for themselves. Drudge reported, and I reported on this yesterday, that research shows that mass shootings are quote-unquote contagious. NPR did a report on this. Scientists say, and these are female scientists, mass shootings usually occur in clusters. Investigative media coverage seems to drive the spread, how media hypes it so much. Researchers have looked at mass shootings which occur in which 4 or more people are killed, mass killings, I should say, 4 or more people are killed, school shootings, and mass shootings in which at least 3 are shot, not necessarily killed. Researcher Sherry Towers, who has researched Ebola and contagious diseases in the past, she's like, maybe school shootings are contagious too. So she found evidence of contagion with high-profile mass shootings and school shootings. Criminologist Jillian Peterson, who's like an activist woman, another researcher, female scientist type of woman at a university, pointed out multiple shootings in America were inspired by the Christchurch, New Zealand terrorist, which is true. The synagogue shooting that happened months back in Poway, California, I forget now how to pronounce it, guys, sorry. But that guy was inspired by the Christchurch killer. And then this shooting up in El Paso, if that manifesto proves to be true, proves to be really the thoughts of the mass murderer, terrorist in El Paso, then that too was kind of inspired by the Christchurch. He is basically in agreement with the Christchurch killer because he was also an eco-fascist. He thinks that we should have universal basic income and kick out the people that are making the babies, which is in this country, the Latino immigrants making the most babies. They make more babies out of wedlock than blacks, by the way, interestingly, side note. But these school shootings, you know, it's copycat crime. And people really don't think for themselves. They're influenced. And it's like suicide, they point out. Robin Williams killed himself, and there was Robin Williams being the actor, comedian guy who played Peter Pan. There was a 10% spike in suicides in the following months after that man killed himself. Male killed himself, not a man. Chester Bennington of Lincoln Park. We were just singing, I need a little room to I need a little room to breathe. That's a Lincoln Park song by Chester Bennington, believe it or not. He committed suicide not long after that other guy, Chris Cornell, the singer guy from some band, multiple bands actually, Soundgarden or something, Audio Slave. Another just anguished white man killed himself. And these people are liberals, by the way. Just a side note. They're liberals. And voting liberals, the tweeting liberals, opining on President Trump's mental health type liberals. I'm laughing, but it's a life and death situation, but it's ridiculous the way that these people are. And it reminds me too, this influence that happens to people from the outside world reminds me of the hashtag Me Too movement. Remember where the first lady came out and said something about that director or movie guy. I forget the guy's name. But there was a Hollywood mogul who went down in the first beginnings of the Me Too movement, hashtag Me Too movement, where women accuse men of sexual misconduct. Harvey Weinstein, yeah. And then it brought in a whole bunch of women and gay people accusing men, basically. Yeah, a couple of women got in trouble too, but mostly it's just men. Accused by women and gays. And some of it, I mean, it's just ridiculous, but they're influenced and they're like inspired. And the woman who accused, I think the woman who accused the Supreme Court justice now, who we're not that happy with, but Trump's second Supreme Court justice appointment was accused by a woman who was influenced by the Me Too movement. And Gillian Peterson, she interviewed mass shooters, by the way, in prison. This is one of the, the activist, liberal, presumably, professors, whatever. She interviewed mass shooters in prison and people who knew such perpetrators who'd survived, or the people who knew them, and has found out those individuals often start feeling suicidal first before they start becoming homicidal. We can show about 80% were actively suicidal prior to the shooting, she says. About half of the school shooters that one man studied died by suicide in their attack. And, very cowardly people. And now look at how we're directed as to what to talk about in the news media. And then you guys, some of you guys get mad at Jesse because Jesse didn't talk too much about President Trump's speech and Trump seemed to endorse gun control because he was talking to some man about his father. Some caller about, his relationship with his father, which is more immediately important. And if these killers had better relationships with their fathers, then they wouldn't be killing. And if these politicians had better relationships with their fathers, they wouldn't be beta males, weak, giving into this gun control stuff. And so it's a nice solution, what Jesse says, pushes. And he's also not so directed by, the trends in the news. Yes, we talk about it, but we talk about deeper stuff too, which is really nice. Actual solutions, right? And I have another example of people not thinking for themselves, but I want to get to some calls. And I showed you at the beginning, if you were watching the very beginning with the opening music, this ex-girlfriend of the shooter in Dayton, Ohio, also mentally ill. She admitted to being, that's a woman, by the way. You can't tell. It looks like a dude. It looks almost like PewDiePie. But I'm showing a picture of the killer's ex-girlfriend. So I'll talk about her if I have time after talking to calls, because I want to talk to calls first. I appreciate the chance to get it off my chest, and I want to give you guys the chance too, and we can talk about it. Ted, out of Mesa, Arizona, first-time caller. How are you, Ted?
I'm good. This isn't Jesse, huh?
Right. You're talking to James, Jesse's former producer.
Hi, James.
Hey.
Hey. Yeah. What I wanted to kind of talk about is some scriptural stuff.
Okay.
Okay. In the book of Revelations in chapter 12, it is revealed that in the end times, the great dragon, who is the devil, Revelations 12:9, will be cast down from heaven to the earth. It is also revealed that all of his fallen angels, who are in fact demons, will be cast down to earth with him. And the Lord let me know that this is important, that I be fully informed that this event that was prophesied in the book of Revelation has now already been fulfilled. The devil and his minions are now spiritually affecting almost everyone on this planet. And it is now the fullness of the time of St. John described when he said the whole world is in the power of the evil one, 1 John 5:19.
Wow.
But yet,
He said 1
the good
John.
news is, yet there was still a very small remnant of the faithful who were left. And the faithful remnant at this time in human history amounts to less than 1% of the world population.
I believe that.
You know, and then I asked him, well, how could this be?
So,
you know?
hey, Ted, are you reading or are you saying this from firsthand? Because it
I'm saying
just got
this from
confused.
firsthand.
Okay, wow, interesting. So you said, how could this be? That sounded just like the people in the Bible said that. I appreciate that, Ted.
I mean, that is biblical. That's what I said, you know, because I asked the Lord to show me scripturally.
Hey, Ted, I agree with you that it probably is less than 1% the people that are actually faithful. Like, because I would say that most people who call ourselves Christians aren't real. How do you know when you are real?
Yes, I mean I believe in the Almighty, eternal Father God in heaven, His Son Jesus Christ, our Lord, Savior, and King, and the true Holy Spirit of the Most High true God. I mean that. Yeah,
but that doesn't. But that doesn't prove anything. Everybody else says that too.
Sure.
Yeah.
But you know.
So I guess it just comes down to knowing yourself, knowing for yourself, and
absolutely. I mean, there's no other way to live for me. You know.
Right on, man.
I like
How'd you find the show, Ted?
To get my truth.
How'd you find the show?
Pardon me?
How'd you find the show?
Well, by praying.
Oh, you found the show by praying. Wow, cool. I appreciate it, Ted. Thank you, man.
Okay.
All right, take care.
I have a lot more, but you got to take other calls, so I'll let it go.
All right. Thanks, man.
All right. Okay, bye.
Take care. Scott, out of Colorado. How are you, man?
I'm doing good, James. How are you doing?
Doing fine. Oh, I forgot to correct the previous caller. He said he's good, too.
I'm doing excellent.
Right on.
Forget about the good.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about the mass hysteria of everybody being afraid and going back to the violation of our Second Amendment rights with the red flag laws due to emotion.
You know, and the other thing is it's scaring us, too. It's scaring the people that aren't for the madness. So anyway, but address the one about the overreaction by infringing on our rights to bear arms.
Well, it seems it's an American thing to put a lid on Trump's divisive statements by having another mass shooting. So it conveniently fits into the Democratic narrative that we need to lose our Second Amendment. You know, this is the fault of us having the ability to protect and defend ourselves. Once they do this, it's the end of things. Then they can actually have military law, in the sense that we need police and military to protect us from ourselves.
You know, this incident is also an opportunity for us, though.
It is.
Because it gives us a great opportunity to tell the truth, to point out the difference. Because, for example, like with this shooter in Dayton was a liberal, mentally ill person in a polyamorous relationship.
Really?
Spoiler alert. Yeah, and he was just, well, I mean, I think she broke up with him by text, actually, because she found that he was too aggressive. But anyways, he was a mentally ill, angry person and loved Antifa, from what I understand, and liked Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders. And these people, you know, most killers, actually, most people in prisons are Democrats. And most violent offenders are Democrats. And that's why they want felons to vote, really. And these people.
It's funny that you say that, James.
But it's more than that, though. it's an opportunity to point out the messed up family situation, and it's an opportunity to stand against the madness of these people. And also you get to see who the weak Republicans are. So it's all kind of good, even if they get their way a little bit. We'll see. They haven't gotten their way yet, but a whole lot of Republicans are buckling. Some of them are retiring, which is nice. I've been reading about all these RINOs retiring in Texas, and because Texas Republicans have been weak and Orange County, California Republicans have been weak, we've lost California, we've lost Orange County, and we're losing Texas, it seems like. So, but that's not a negative thing, because these people deserve to lose it because they've been weak, and it shows that people should become more like President Trump rather than trying to stray away from him.
It's very true. God's making all these things happen, and when we take our eye off the ball, fear creeps in. It's why you pointed out an amazing thing about this is our chance to have resolve instead of let the fear take over. I made a mistake when I lived in San Diego as a 20-something, and I got myself a felony. I moved out here to Colorado, and by the grace of God, I've been able to vote, and I've used my votes to, unfortunately, support Ron Paul, but I got the opportunity to vote for the Great White Hope, Donald Trump. Redemption is the thing here, is we're redeemable, and the idea that these red flag laws will muddy the water so people can lose their God-given right. As a felon, I've lost my ability to own guns and protect my family.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how beta that makes me feel. That was my decision.
Yeah.
I made the mistake and I got in trouble, but God has redeemed me. He's given me the opportunity to have my own business. And there's something very special about you guys in the show. And again, we all need to stick together. They're coming for us right now.
Yep. I agree, Scott. I appreciate that, man.
Well, James, I appreciate everything that you, Jesse, Nick, and Joel are doing, and everybody behind the scenes. God bless you guys, and you're in my prayers.
All right. Take care, man.
Have a blessed day.
And happy Men's History Month. He'll hear it later. Robin, first-time caller out of Canada. How are you?
Hi, James. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Happy Men's History...
I'm well. I'm not good. I'm well.
Oh, right on. Happy Men's History Month.
Happy Men's History Month.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to talk to you, like, some of the shooting stuff. So anytime there's a shooting in the United States, and they only showcase the ones that are done by white people.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in Canada, so I'm just telling you, like, what our media shows.
Right.
You have, like, all these liberals up here that are like, oh, they're just crazy, and you shouldn't have guns and stuff. Our gun laws in Canada, like, please do not give up your right to bear arms in the United States. If you guys don't uphold that law, there will be no other place on earth where you can have guns.
Yeah.
Like, in Canada, if you want to have a handgun, you have to have a very, very specialized license for it, and then they background check you on a daily basis. It's just a computerized system. If you want to take your gun to the gun range and you just stop for a coffee, well, now that you've left your gun in the trunk, you can go to prison for 10 years. That's crazy. They have insane laws up here where they basically don't, and you can never use it for self-defense. So really, what is the point? Like, if you're ever in a situation where someone breaks into your home, you can't use your gun in a self-defense situation and not go to prison, regardless of who was barging into your home. So, oh my God, you guys need to, uphold those rights, because really it might have an effect on us, where eventually when kind of America reclaims its kind of, at one point America really was the thing to idolize. You know what I mean? Like, the world looked to America.
Yeah.
And then after, Obama and previous administrations and stuff, it just became something to not really look towards.
Right.
But maybe at some point, like, our countries will look to America again and be like, we would need a First Amendment or a Second Amendment right. You know what I mean? And
yeah, man, that is so like reminding or eye-opening, because they don't have First Amendment rights in like European countries. They don't have freedom of speech, and
we don't have it here either in Canada.
Yeah, talk about a beta country that you can't even own.
We're very beta.
Yeah, I'm. Nick is also Canadian. Well, he's
Where's Nick from?
Well, he's an anchor baby to America, right? He was born in America, but he's lived all over, right?
Canadian anchor baby?
No, he was not. He moved up to Canada as a child. Who knows? He's so ambiguous, but he knows a lot about Canadians, and he grew up there, right? Basically, I think, and he didn't know a real Canadian, as in like a white person, until like years living there, because it has become so quote unquote diverse. And then he says that you basically have to sleep with a politician to get a gun in Canada if you're not law enforcement, basically. And that there's all kinds of restrictions on magazines and stuff. And a comedian was fined $42,000 for saying a joke a lesbian didn't like. Is that true?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I saw that.
That is insane. Talk about a beta country.
I'm not sure if you followed that case out of British Columbia. Jessica Yanev?
Okay.
The one it's a transgendered person, tranny, whatever.
Right.
Trying to force people to wax their,
their
male
I heard about
parts.
that. Yeah. That's disgusting.
Well, they were so there's very well-documented evidence that this person has been contacting underage girls. And, I don't want to go into any libelous stuff on your show or anything, but it's undeniable at this point. However, when they were on another transgender person show the other day, Blair White, they brandished a taser and they flashed it. They actually zapped it on the show.
Whoa.
And they were like, oh, that's illegal. It's 100% illegal. You're not even allowed to own those in Canada. So the stuff about them being really pervy towards children was totally fine. But as soon as that person brandished something that they might be able to defend themselves with, which I would agree with.
Right. That's a good point.
That's when the RCMP stepped in. and they also said they had pepper spray, and they're like, you can't have that either. So we're just not allowed to defend ourselves up here. So please don't ever, whatever it is, even if it's something that you think you don't need, a
bump
stocks or whatever, it's don't give any inch, because they just come for everything, right?
That's a good point. I appreciate that, Robin. Thank you.
All right.
Take care.
All right, you have a good day.
All right, you as well.
All right.
My friends were for this, like my Mexican friends who got into soccer, they started idolizing Europe, and, all the liberal professors idolized Europe as something to be, to emulate. And you look where Europe is now. It's it's a mess. Nobody wants to be Europe. And now fewer and fewer people are wanting to be America. But hopefully with Trump, he can, and maybe the rest of us starting to stand up, we can become a stronger country again, where we defend the First and Second Amendments. Matt, out of North Carolina. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great. I just want to say I have a really big penis. I can suck my own cock.
I don't know sure what he said, but it sounded vulgar. No translation necessary. Alex, out of San Antonio, Texas. It's a family show. You're not allowed to be vulgar. Alex, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you, James?
Fine, thank you.
Good. Yeah, I don't know why people idolize Europe. I guess it must be the soccer thing, but
yeah.
I mean, last time I checked, the world uses the dollar, not the euro, so we got the best economics here.
Yep.
I mean, but either way, I wanted to call about the Second Amendment and say that it's kind of been infringed for a while. So
yeah, it has.
I'm not surprised they want to add on these things like red flag laws, but I don't remember the founders saying that for a free militia, we need to pay the government a fee and register our guns with them and renew the permit every year.
Yeah.
And not have certain capacity magazines. So it's a whole mess.
It is. It's seriously a big mess. They do not respect the Second Amendment whatsoever. It is infringed upon our rights to own and carry, because that's what it means.
Like they
keep
still
and bear
want
arms.
to keep it.
Yeah, own and carry weapons, guns, is totally infringed upon, especially by California, New Jersey, but nationwide it seems like. And shamefully, the Republicans are part of the problem, including a little bit Trump, but hopefully they can come to their senses, some of them, hopefully President Trump will come to his senses, and the rest of us will hold him to that.
Oh yeah, I think a caller said this yesterday, or it might have been you guys. I don't really remember, but they said that Trump's got an election to win, and I think that's exactly why he's doing it. And I think he knows if he passes like gun laws, a lot of the right's not going to support him. So I think he's saying it just to win over the moderates.
I've been thinking about how they've been going after the NRA forever, right? These liberals have been totally demonizing the NRA and getting away with it, to be honest. And the NRA is us. I'm a member of the NRA, and I support everything that I've heard Wayne LaPierre say, who's like one of the top guys at the NRA. And I hear that there's now like financial troubles amongst them. And yeah, they are a little bit RINO at times, beta. Like I've heard them supporting stuff that they shouldn't support, both related to guns and not related. I don't know how they get into other stuff, but they have been demonizing the NRA as though it's this big, bad, giant monster. But it's just the power of it is the people, the voters. And we should be demonizing the ACLU every bit as much, if not more. They've been more destructive to America than anything that the NRA could ever do. And we should be demonizing the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League that thrives on defaming white people, Christians, conservatives. We should be decrying. I don't know if I said defaming. I said that, but I just meant telling the truth about these people, because these people are evil, and the organizations that a lot of voters, liberal voters, brainwashed NPC voters, support. They support the SPLC, Southern Poverty Law Center, which is a trash organization, communist organization. They are the haters, and they pretend to track hate, and they accuse others of hate when they're full of hate themselves. They're no better than anybody that they trash, and they're probably worse than most of the people that they trash. So it would be nice if, we could get real men back, and I think that would be powerful for stopping the constant infringement on the First and Second Amendment, both the spirit and the law, because people don't have the spirit of the First Amendment anymore. It used to be, it's a free country. It used to be how people just let people speak their mind, and people would just speak their mind. But nowadays, people are afraid, so they don't have the spirit there. And then people also will clamp down on the people that used to, I'm laughing. He said duels used to be common. But people are clamping down on people's free speech. And it's all because of this false notion of hate speech and harmful speech and stuff like that. It's a mess. I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, people try to pick these, they try to nitpick the amendments and say, oh, well, yeah, we want free speech, and even it's like that even now. I mean, even the First Amendment is not really what it says it is. I know we like to hold it up, but they don't allow speech that incites violence. And yes, it's evil to incite violence, but how can you make that illegal? It's just words that come out of people's mouths.
Yeah.
You got to hold the actual people accountable.
Yep. They try to blame Trump for telling the truth about the illegal alien invasion. They blame him for the El Paso shooter when he just told the truth about it. And he has loving solutions, sending them back, being reasonable, all that. And then somebody else has an evil so-called fake solution, which is to start a race war, a civil war, and scare people back. It's crazy.
Are you talking about Beto O'Rourke?
Well, yeah, him too. But I was talking about the El Paso shooter. Might as well have been Beto.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, Alex.
Well, yeah, appreciate you, James. Have a good one.
All right, you too. Take care. Paul, out of Santa Ana, California. First-time caller.
Hey, Hake, first-time caller.
Hey.
Long-time listener.
Congratulations on becoming part of the Democrat stronghold in Orange County, California.
Yeah, no, that's pretty sad.
Yep.
Well, I tried to turn it around in 2016 by switching over.
You went from Democrat to Republican?
Democrat.
Nice.
And my wife and I both switched over.
Yeah.
So hopefully that helped a little bit.
You know, you can be one of the real Republicans, because I think that our state has been filled with RINOs, cowards, and that's why we lose.
Yeah.
And so you having a real awakening is going to be more powerful than all those losers that we've been, that have lost the state for us. So
yeah, and I'm trying to wake people up too, but it's pretty hard waking up some of these liberals.
Yeah, you know, Jesse's been doing this for 30 years, and the Bible says it too. Only a few will wake up and enter.
Yeah. I guess, like he says, you can't. Only each person can do it themselves.
Yep.
Yeah, but anyways, I was calling in regards to this cool video I saw on YouTube.
Okay.
By the way, I'm a little bit nervous right now. It's the first time I call.
Don't sweat it. You're fine.
Live radio.
Yeah.
But it was a video about Trump. Actually, it wasn't about Trump. I was, you know how you go in that rabbit hole of videos on YouTube, and I was watching videos in regards to like heroes in America. And there was one of the stories was there was this bus driver, black bus driver, saved this woman's life that was going to jump over a street overpass.
Okay.
And so he stops his bus, and the black man, bus driver, and coerced the lady not to jump. So he was on the 5 o'clock news, and, you know, I believe they awarded him a medal for being a hero.
Uh-huh.
And this happened in 2005.
Okay.
And so Trump, I guess he must have heard about that, and he ended up awarding the bus driver, black man, of course. And so, you know how people always say he's racist? So when I was watching that, it kind of made my hair stand up. You know, I'm thinking,
I heard
like, wow, what a good man.
I heard about this.
Because he gave the bus driver, he gave him a $10,000 reward for doing that.
Wow.
Heroic act.
Yeah.
So I thought that was an amazing story.
Yeah. He really.
Yeah, if I get a chance, I'd like to send you the video.
Okay. Yeah, send it over.
I thought that was really cool, and you guys might want to, you know, hear about that.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, send it over, James at jesseleepeterson.com.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Sounds good.
Yeah, you know, I had heard about that, and it just makes sense to who Trump is, who he's kind of always been. He always really likes real people that do like real good, nice things.
Yeah.
And he's like that himself. And I just see him like always eating like KFC, McDonald's, and he goes amongst the workers, the people. I think that he relates to the real people as opposed to the hoity-toity ones.
Yes, he does.
Nice, Paul. Thank you.
But, yeah, that's all I was really calling about.
No problem. Thank you. Happy
I
Men's
wanted to
History
see what
Month,
it's
by
like
the way.
to call in a live show.
That's your first time?
It's my first time, so yeah, I'm a little
Nice.
bit nervous. So.
I'm honored.
Just the thought of having thousands of people listening, it's a little nerve-wracking.
Don't sweat it, man. Appreciate
yeah,
it, Paul.
I love you guys. You know, I love Jesse. I love Chibu. I love Trump. And, yeah, I actually met you once. I went to the church.
Okay. Yeah, in
months
Santa
ago.
Ana, you're not far. You're not that far, especially for a Sunday morning.
I don't know if you remember me. I'm from Santa Ana.
Okay.
I live by South Coast. I called you once before.
All right.
Not on your live radio show, but I talked to you off air.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure if I saw your face, I would recognize you. It's hard to recognize based on the voice.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that, Paul. Hope to meet you again.
Yeah.
You
no
come
problem.
in. You come into the.
I'll send you that link. I think you should play it on there. It's
All
a really
right.
cool story.
Yeah. Are you coming to the Free Speech Forum tonight?
I don't know. I can't make it.
All right,
I
no
work
worries.
at 4 a.m.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Me too.
Yeah. I'd like to go.
All
I'll
right.
make it one of these days.
Yeah, you can come up to church or men's forums first Thursday night of the month. Women's forums are third Thursdays if your wife wants to come out.
Yeah.
And then of course church is probably the best day every week.
But I
you know.
do tune into the church every Sunday.
Right on.
You know, I like what you do too.
Yeah.
Doing an amazing job.
Thanks again, Paul. Take care.
Yeah. Love what you guys do. Yeah, no problem.
Happy Men's History Month.
Yeah, that's right. Happy Men's History Month.
All right.
Actually, my birthday is on Monday.
Okay,
So
make sure.
I was born on Men's History Month. So
Nice.
That's pretty cool.
August is like the second best month to be born in, next to July.
Really, yeah. Well, to me, it's the best.
Right on. I bet. All right, take care, Paul. Gotta go, man.
All right, you too, hey.
All right.
All right, nice talking to you, buddy.
You as well, man. Bye.
All right.
RC, first time caller out of South Carolina. How are you, RC?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
James.
Yes.
Happy Men's History Month, James.
Thank you, man. You too.
Man, I was calling. I know we kind of got off the subject here from the caller I heard talking about the Second Amendment debate going on.
Uh-huh.
But I was calling about that. So I find it just, there's not even a word to explain how confused I get when these Democrats, they think it's a better idea for law-abiding citizens to live in a society where we're afraid to go out in public and have a good time with our families.
Yeah.
But they don't want it to be where the criminals are afraid
Yeah.
to go out in public and commit these atrocities.
That's a good point. Yep.
It's ridiculous. They should be afraid to go out in public for fear of being shot immediately. Because
Yep.
they do it because they know it's going to, they're going to have about 15 minutes to do their thing.
Yeah. That guy, the El Paso shooter, if his manifesto is correct, he specifically encouraged fellow terrorists to target soft targets where there are no people who may shoot back. Go after the innocent, defenseless people. And
yeah,
in other parts of the country, people are armed inside Walmart because people, carry their guns on their hips or concealed, whatever. But if everybody was armed, or a lot of people were, the men say, this stuff wouldn't be as frequent, and it would be more civilized. It would be more logical. But we also need morality to combine with that freedom, because otherwise, the less morality you have, the less freedom you have. You notice that with blacks getting stopped for any little thing, right? That's called broken windows policing. Because their communities are in such an immoral state, so full of crime that the cops have to clamp down, and so they lose from some of their freedom in a sense. And I think that's what's happening to America, is because we're both losing our rights unnecessarily, but we're also losing our morality unnecessarily. And so these people are
absolutely.
These people are that's setting the stage for these people to even want to do this. This doesn't even enter the minds of most people to commit a mass murder, but now it's entering a lot of people's minds, too many anyways. And
oh yeah,
and it's too easy for them. You know, that's the thing about this, like, military style rifles too. I want the general public to have as good of weapons as any cartel member that might come in, because these cartel members are quite well armed. They don't abide by the gun restrictions on military style assault rifles, you know, scary sounding guns. We need the scary sounding guns too.
I had that same discussion
yeah.
with somebody 2 days ago. They said, I have a lot of open debates just with people. I know a lot of people around my community, and it's people on all sides. It never gets heated or out of control or anything.
Right on.
But I had a conversation with somebody the other day, and that's the same thing I said. I said, first of all, military-style weapon, that makes no sense.
Right.
The military literally uses every weapon on Earth.
Yeah.
That's a dumb thing to say. Second of all, if you buy something to defend yourself with, you're telling me that you want to buy a less effective defensive tool, or do you want to buy the most effective? That makes no sense. That's like saying, I really want to go to the lot and buy a car that barely runs.
Yeah, you're handicapping yourself. It's so insane.
Yeah, it makes no sense whatsoever. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that's how these people think, and it's either they've been brainwashed from a real young age from the things that they've heard from their parents and from their parents, or it's just that they just can't logically come to these conclusions on their own. Because a lot of people, when I say these things, it's like the first time they've ever heard that, and they're like, "Oh, well, yeah, I mean, that makes sense, the way you say it."
Right. It's like,
well, what other way was there to think about it, dude?
It's like they're deluded to think that everybody else is as, quote unquote, civilized and docile as they are and harmless, when there's a whole lot of, although those people are evil, right? The people the nice liberals who want to take away our Second Amendment.
Well, they don't know they're evil.
Yeah, they don't know it.
But they are infected with it.
Yeah.
And they can't help it.
And they sympathize with the real evil people that want to murder people. They sympathize with them.
Yep, and they can't.
Except for the white supremacists.
They can't see it, man. They're just it's really sad, and I see a lot of people like that. And even my son, he's got some friends down the street. His parents are super liberal, and they came over and they started telling my son Donald Trump is Donald Dump, and he hates children, and he takes children away from their parents. And my son just came home, and he said they're saying that he's a little kid. He's in elementary school, and I said, well, why are there kids talking about politics?
Right.
You don't know anything about. You're like 7, 8 years old. You know nothing, and why are your parents even telling you this stuff?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, man. It's very strange times that we live in. It's unbelievable, actually.
Yeah.
But I guess it's just where we are. But I tell all the people that are against the 2A thing, I say, you know what? That's all good. Don't even worry about it. Because if we're in a Walmart, even though you disagree with me, I will be the first one to defend you.
Nice. I appreciate it, RC.
Oh, yeah.
Great Men's
and
History Month
Men's
contribution.
History Month to all the viewers.
Yeah, definitely. Take care,
listeners, whatever they are.
All right. Bye, man.
Bye.
You know, before I get to the rest of the callers, you remember how when, I guess it wasn't ISIS so much, but Al-Qaeda was committing terrorist attacks on our soil and everywhere else. They're killing a bunch of Christians and Muslims and everybody else. And everybody's like, well, maybe we shouldn't be making them mad. Maybe we shouldn't be oppressing them. Maybe we shouldn't be bombing their countries, stuff like that. And then I wonder why they don't treat the white terrorists the same way. Maybe we shouldn't be making the whites mad. Maybe we shouldn't be trashing white people so much. No, they just end up trashing white people even more, interestingly enough. Just a side note. I know they're not bombing white people's land, maybe, I guess. But they're definitely attacking whites like crazy. And not all Muslims are like that. They never say, not all whites are like that. They include the best whites and demonize them. like President Trump, like Tucker Carlson, like Jesse Lee Peterson. Well, he's white on the inside, white as snow. Brian, first-time caller out of Chicago, Illinois. How are you doing?
Wow. Hi. Wow. I thought it was going to be, I was in for the long haul. I was just willing to wait it out. Thought it was going to be down the line. How are you, sir?
Doing fine. Thank you. Nice to hear from you.
Oh, it's the pleasure's mine. Look, I'm a rare time caller to any talk radio.
Okay.
Back in the day as a child, I called in here in Chicago a lot as an 11 and 12-year-old. A fellow named Lou Palmer was on the air at the time.
All right.
And he was a real successful advocate and winner for the black community here in Chicago and the community at large. He was a part of the Harold Washington movement.
Okay.
But to get that out to say, I don't really call, but when I ever do, I just feel so, like, got a call in my heart that I just can't, and it happens. So the fact that I'm on, thank you, sir, for hearing me out.
Yeah.
Again, first time, it's a pleasure to talk to you over the airwaves. Look, a lot of what Brother Peterson and you and I and others talk about is just simple facts. It ain't rocket science. There's some things that are simple, cut to the chase, wrong and right. Now, I say that to say this. I want to give a shout-out to my mother and father who were military veterans, and so was I. My mom was in what they call them blacks, and my dad was in Korea. And I also am a trained infantry Army soldier.
Okay.
So I love my country. I say that to say that first. Here's the thing. Every president that I've ever known, these eyes have ever seen from a child up until now, Kennedy up until now, they all had one thing in common when it came to this fella, this guy. Complete respect, allegiance, and to be honest, the American way, and you will agree with me when I say, thanks for letting me get my roll out. I got so much to say. Thank you. You will agree with me. As a child coming up, you can note this fact. To speak of your president as a kid coming up, it puffed your chest. It squared your shoulders. It was all a part of that foundation of pride for your country. So when it cut to the chase, it's all about love of what's right, the country, the flag that's promoting those principles. So I say that to say, back in the day, I'll say maybe back in the 80s during the Harold Washington movement, up until that time is when my democratic allegiance and full blind allegiance to democratic politics severed completely.
Wow.
Now, ever since then, I haven't made a Republican connection. I won't say connection, but allegiance. And see, when the bottom line, my allegiance is to the red, white, and blue. So that covers it all. So I'm sick of this walking, tiptoeing through the tulips. Can't say what it really is when it is what it is. Now, look, I'm from the hood, if you will, west side of Chicago, mini Iraq. You had 70 rounds expended on killed there in 18th Street on the west side of Chicago where I'm from. 70. They recorded on TV. They recorded, showing it on the news. 70 rounds. You're hearing these rounds is popping off like Iraq.
Yeah.
So I mentioned to the screener, and thank God again for putting me through, the gun control fight is going to be, the lion's share of it is going to have to be won through the hearts and minds and souls of men. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. We have to bring back some logic as opposed to all this emotion. And you're from the old school, I can tell, where people used to love and respect and be proud of the president. And now the country is so divided and the country is so corrupt that they hate good. And so they hate Trump. And they loved evil, and they loved Obama.
Please don't hang up on me.
And so it's a mess.
I'm listening. I want to hear you, but please don't hang up before we go, okay?
Go for it. Get your last point in.
Okay. No, I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. Sure. That was all. I just wanted to point out that nowadays we don't respect people. Good people.
The point being, connecting with what you have said, is that now here's the thing: no matter what president, from Kennedy to President now, Donald Trump, I don't care what indifferences or disagreements, the bottom line, that still was your president. And it means something still. That's what it is. We're getting away from the things that we're saying don't mean quite no more, but it still means a great deal. So through the hearts and minds of men, I'm out in the streets dealing with guys out here in the streets on my inner town. I try to involve myself in being active as far as the community and the aldermen over here.
Right on.
But it's tremendous. And let me say one more thing and get out of Dodge, because I know,
all right.
I can't tell it all at once. But here's the thing, too. Now, I can say some things right now, and it'll be all good to my community, so-called blacks or whatever, or assume Democrats, because sometimes you just assume Democrats. If you're black, that ain't the case with me. And so you can have all the facts to present what it is, the truth of it. I can say it. Now, if you say it being a man of another different skin tone, European, Caucasian, whatever, because we're all human, bleeding red. Now, you say that same truth, and you are the devil with horns and the biggest racist. So that's what my objective is now, is to attack that and completely eradicate that and blow that out the water in my neighborhood where I live.
Right on, Brian.
So that's what,
I appreciate that.
Let me say this one thing that happened to me earlier. Now, here's two cops.
You know what, Brian?
Like I told you,
Brian,
I'm out in the street.
I gotta go, man. I gotta go. But call back tomorrow if you can. I gotta get to my other callers.
I have one more quick point.
Call me tomorrow, man. Call me tomorrow. I appreciate it, though. And you're right that we do have to get where white men just speak the truth and don't be scared of being demonized. Sorry about that, Brian, but I got my favorite caller on the line, Maze, out of Dayton, Ohio. She is alive. Maze, how are you?
What made you think that I was dead?
I didn't think you were dead. I just wanted to point out that you are alive.
Oh, really?
Hadn't heard from you.
You said that Caucasians are upset. So
yeah.
You get upset, what everybody's supposed to do, sit down and relax and let you have a tantrum?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Uh-huh. Freedom of speech.
Really? Everybody's supposed to have freedom of speech?
Yep.
So I want to know, when I listen and hear all of these gun enthusiastic and why they need a gun, why don't they just have a rifle and sit down and somewhere and stop screaming and hollering? Because God wouldn't approve of none of the things that they want to do.
That's what we want.
And then I hear them saying,
is a rifle.
Democrat and Republican, they're still Caucasian people trying to rule the lives of other people, aren't they?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. You're talking about the Caucasian liberals?
And the conservative ones too.
The so-called conservatives, the ones that want to take away the gun rights. Yeah.
If you haven't seen a person that don't want to share, they stay angry because they don't want to share what's put on the earth for everybody else, and they don't want to share. They always want to be supreme over it.
Okay.
So once y'all get over that thrill, y'all be some happy people. I keep telling you that.
You mean if we share, if white people start sharing, white people share too much. We're oversharers. I said white people share too much. We share our land with the POCs.
It doesn't belong to you because you didn't only put Caucasians on this
I know,
planet.
but we didn't have to share it.
What I'm saying. You see other people walking around.
White people are the most sharing people on earth, and you want us to share more? That's wrong.
No, you're not sharing anything.
You're sharing too much.
If I can let you have what people in their
we're sharing so much we're losing our rights.
Everything, but you don't.
Because the thing is, when we share, then all these people start coming in and trying to run things, and they end up doing it. And then they take away our rights.
You try to run things abroad, too. That's the problem.
Yeah.
If you leave other people's stuff alone, it's just like when I said I'm looking at this stuff in Hispanic, y'all keep saying. And they got mafias and all this different stuff.
So do you tell this to the POCs that won't leave whites alone?
Excuse me?
Do you tell this to the POCs who won't leave whites alone? They keep on invading?
I don't think anybody bothers with them because if they POCs,
they're invading.
And making color.
They're invading our country and taking over.
Everybody's not in misery like the ones that I'm listening to. They want to go out and kill somebody. And then the man walking down the road with the rope, would you have wanted to walk, if the cops arrested you, would you have wanted to walk down through the town square for a message? I would have been humiliated. Carrying you like that.
And I would have been humiliated, and rightly so.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So
I don't know what he committed.
Don't wish on yourself.
Right. I don't know what that guy committed, but yeah.
Huh?
I said I don't know what crime that guy committed, but it's kind of a nice idea because it brings shame into the world. As opposed to being like in a darkened back of a car, people don't see you, and so you get to hide your shame. But if your shame is kind of broadcast as you're walking to the police station, that's even more humiliating. That's a nice part of the punishment, like a wake-up call.
Really, that was a message sent.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't make no sense, and they should have been fired and put in jail themselves.
That's so ridiculous, Maze.
That's what I think.
That's silly.
And then some people
You're just traumatized and you hate white people. That just means you hate white people.
That's what they think is supposed to happen. They always think they're supposed to enslave other people and be free for themselves. They'll never be happy. Not with God. I want to put it that way since they're supposed to be Christians.
Yeah.
They'll never be, and he's not happy with and seeing what's going on.
Right.
He's the only ruler of this earth.
Yeah.
And so what makes you think that you're above him?
Above Satan?
Excuse me?
Above Satan?
I said above the person that started this planet and started the people.
Oh. I don't know.
You think you're above him?
No.
Well, then that's what you sound like, saying that you're supposed to rule. So if he put you here,
I didn't say I'm supposed to rule.
He just made me a different color than you.
Whatever.
But he gave you legs and gave me legs, eyes,
because
arms,
I am all white people. Okay.
And a heart. So why do you think you're supposed to be supreme over somebody else?
All right. Cool, man. Maze, nice to hear from you.
Yeah, you have a good one, Jerry.
All right, you too. Take care. That one was harder to follow than usual. Nissan, out of the Bronx. How are you doing, man?
Hey, Hake. Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about maybe legal immigration versus just illegal.
Yeah.
We're saying that a lot of legal immigration is coming in, and I live in New York, and one of the legal immigrants climbed the Statue of Liberty. Like, she got all the way up.
Right. Congo woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had to pull her down, and they had to shut down Ellis Island.
She was basically a communist.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we're letting them in.
Hated Trump.
And I'm sorry? I didn't hear you.
Hated Trump, that woman. That Congo woman.
Yeah, of course. Of course. No, more than Trump. She hates America, and she hates capitalism and all of it. I mean, we're letting them in. Maybe we need to stop.
Not maybe.
Illegal immigration. Not stop it,
Not maybe. We do need to stop it. I would be happy if we stopped it. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I would love to close.
That could happen, but we could shorten it.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
Maybe we need to.
We need to get pickier.
Chad's making fun of my voice. I'm not a beta male, so okay.
Yeah, don't read the chat when you're talking to me.
Well, yeah, we need to shorten it because I live in New York, and that's a lot of immigrants come through New York City, like you know.
Yeah.
But a lot of them tend to get on the cycle of hating America all of a sudden, and they hate
big time.
They don't think it's working, and maybe they have a valid point, but maybe we need to cut it.
It's not a maybe, man. We need to, and we also need to close the education department because the public education and the private education, to be honest, is brainwashing our own native-born people to hate America too. So we need to close the legal immigration. We need to end this refugee acceptance. We need to build the wall and stop letting the illegals in and send the illegals that are here back. We need to close the education department. But I mean, these are all physical solutions, and those things can stem the tide. But evil has already crept into practically all of us. So we got to. No, that's the first thing.
Jealousy.
Yeah, but it's not just jealousy. It's all evil, all evil. But you're right. There is a whole lot of envy-based. I mean, that's what socialism is, as Bill Lockwood says. It's envy-based.
Yeah, it's jealousy. Yeah. I want your money. I need to tax you at 70% because I need compensation before being a victim.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
I appreciate it, Nissan.
When you climb the Statue of Liberty and cry like that, and we have to take you down, maybe. Yeah.
We take you on a plane and drop you back into Congo. That's what Jesse wanted to do with her.
Well, we should bus you back to, wherever.
Bus her back to Congo. I appreciate it, Nissan. I gotta go, man. Happy Men's History Month.
Okay.
And I'm sorry I wanted to get to your call. David, I'm sorry I wanted to get to your call. The rest of you guys, I'm sorry I wasn't able to get to you. And I'll talk more about this Dayton killer's girlfriend tomorrow. I have more details than what I let on, but beta people trying to run the country, and they shouldn't. All right, guys, make sure you come on out for the Men's History Month Free Speech Forum if you get your tickets. Going to be a full house. See you guys, and see you guys tomorrow, too. For Get It Off Your Chest Friday. Can you believe it already? That's crazy. All right, guys. Bye.
What?